that works.
Hi, this is Andrew Fabus.
Renandy.
Tyrell Sainsbury. So what I thought was interesting about the video was that Africa had 4% of the world's population, but 50% of the HIV/AIDS population. And it was interesting to see that there were no, from where I can see, that there were no dots. Oh, sorry. No dots or anybody who had HIV or AIDS in Northern Africa. So it's just interesting what the difference is between it's the same country, but only the bottom half, I guess 2/3 of it have HIV, whereas the top doesn't.
Yeah, I think something that he mentioned that's interesting is like the United States isn't completely the same, because we think of Africa and we think, oh, everyone's poor, everyone has HIV, everyone has AIDS, they're all doing immoral things and that's why they do it, or that's why they have AIDS and stuff like that. But just like the United States, there's a lot of different people, there's a lot of different races, culture, and so we shouldn't look at Africa like, oh, they all have AIDS, So we should realize that we have diversity just like the United States.
Well, it was interesting how he did the whole, when AIDS first started in 1983, Zimbabwe skyrocketed, and then after, 20 years, 25 years, whatever it was, it leveled out, and now it's not getting better, but it's not getting worse either. So I guess that's a good thing, but...
Yeah. What I thought was interesting is that we always think like HIV, it has to be sexually transmitted or whatever, but it's good to have a reminder that it can be passed on with heroin. Like Iran and Iraq, you would think that they would have very low HIV if you think it's sexually transmitted. But the fact that they're addicted to heroin is the reason that they have HIV and AIDS in their country is really interesting. I didn't see the percent or anything, but I'm guessing it was more than it should be for just passing around heroin needles.
Other causes I wrote down were the less use of condoms, and then older men into younger women, and multiple partners, and prostitution was another one. Those are all causes of passing HIV. What else? I wrote down there's 30 to 40 million people with HIV in the world.
Well, I think an easy solution anyway, from a celestial point of view, would just stop having sex with random people all the time.
Easier said than done.
Yeah, I don't know.
Well, I thought it was interesting too that they brought up that the reason that some countries leveled out and whatnot is because people died, because they didn't have the medicine and they didn't have the things to help cure those people, that they die, and so that's why rates go down or level out. And so it's really sad. But what would you rather have? Somebody that dies because of HIV so they can't spread it, or have the medicine but don't really use it and live and kind of pass that on? So I thought that was interesting.
Yeah.
I like the way that guy talks. Sweden's do you guys know what he was talking about with the whole vodka on find a new partner
that
thing?
quick rant you went on?
Yeah.
No, I don't know what
Okay.
Talk too fast for me to understand.
I'm glad I wasn't the only one that didn't know what the heck was going on.
I enjoyed his solidified laser pointer though.
Yeah, what the heck? That guy's eccentric.
So they talked about also the poor countries, about how they just don't have prevention, or they don't. People can't afford the drugs of care, and so they die off, like you were saying.
Yeah.
They stabilize, not stabilize, but whatever. Yeah, level off.
Well, I thought it was really interesting that he showed, and they had data for all the different provinces and stuff within countries, and also the wealth, and how the rates change. And I always expected like the wealthier countries to have more, well, I don't know, to have less, I guess. But it looked like for the one country that wealthier people had more AIDS and HIV. So I guess it really just does depend. Like you said, San Francisco is different from Salt Lake City.
Yeah.
So
I think something else that I liked is he said that we need the money, the heart, and the brains. I think it's really important to have all three of them, or at least brains, I think is really important because maybe people understood, maybe they don't understand exactly how, like, you can get HIV from drugs or needles or being unsanitary. So if they understood that, maybe I could stop it a little more. And
yeah, it was a good video.
That was a good quote to end it.
All right.
good.